There are 7 of them. Number 1, vast majority. The word majority by itself.
I think I did it wrong.
I have one more.
That is next week.
My colleague told me that you can print this, so you should have print this. So.
It's okay, don't worry about it. Just look at the vocabulary. Wow, you are prepared.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Majority, the word majority by itself just means more than 50%, right? A lot of times you can even see that word used in like the government or the Senate. They say Senate majority. You know, who has control, Republicans or Democrats? 51 Republicans and 49 Democrats? Okay, the Republicans have the Senate majority. More than 50%. So then sometimes they will use the word vast majority to signify it's much more than 50%. Like 90 or 95, there's no exact number. But it's not 100, it's not everybody, because then you would use a different word like unanimous or completely, 100%. Vast majority means almost everybody. Number 2, emblazoned. So the word emblazoned means to be inscribed or to be written or to be drawn onto some surface. You can think of like, if there was some logo on this table, right? The logo is emblazoned onto the table. Even this, I guess this Nike check is emblazoned onto the shirt. So if something is written or drawn or inscribed onto some surface, that is the literal meaning. But if you see today in our video, in our reading, he uses it in a figurative sense, not literally emblazoned. If you see what he says, these memories have been emblazoned in our brain. So kind of imagine you are printing that memory onto your brain. It is there. It is going to stay there forever. It is not going to leave. That is why he uses that word. If something is emblazoned onto a surface, it will be there. You cannot erase it. So he uses it in a figurative sense to say these memories are emblazoned in our brain. Number 3, soulful. So this word just means full of feeling, full of emotions. So it's often going to be used for something like music, which is how he uses it. There is even a genre of music called soul music. It could also maybe be used to describe someone's poetry. It's very soulful. Someone's music, probably most common music, is very soulful, or possibly the way someone speaks, like a preacher in a church or something like that, is very soulful performance or something like that. So it's going to be something with expressing your thoughts through words or through song, very full of emotions. Number 4, anthem. So this is just like a song, but a song for a group, or a song for a country, a song for a company. A company can even have an anthem, and it sums up your existence, your attitudes, your feelings. So the most common example, every country has a national anthem. The United States, their national anthem is called the Star-Spangled Banner. And I'm sure, I'm not going to sing it for you, but you can probably recognize that song. Korean national anthem is called Aegukga, right? Yeah, so country can have a national anthem, but a group, you know, some student group or some political group, or even some company can have their anthem. Now, schools, yeah, definitely. School, my university had their anthem. Be careful if it is just really short one, like in the video at the very beginning, he plays a couple notes. Number 7 is note. He plays a couple notes, or McDonald's. Dun, 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 right? I would not call that an anthem. That is too short.
SK Telecom. SK Telecom.
SK Telecom, No, that is McDonald's. Dun, 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 dun.
Sorry. Yeah.
I would, if you see discussing question number 1 uses the word jingle, maybe I would use the word jingle for something really short like that. An anthem kind of sounds like it is a full song. So you could take the anthem and the small piece of it is the jingle, or the small piece of it. And actually in the video he does play a longer version of the song, which is maybe the anthem. It sounds like it's a full song. Number 5, visceral. This word is coming from impulse, coming from sudden emotion. So it's a tiny bit similar to number 3, soulful, but actually in my opinion the words are quite different. Visceral definitely kind of implies there's no logic, there's no reason. This is just coming from impulse, just coming from basic human emotion. It's very visceral. So the SC just makes S sound, you know? Visceral. Yeah. The R and the L are close together, so it's going to be a little difficult for some people to pronounce. Visceral. And like I said, no logic, just emotions. And so he uses it to describe music. A lot of times they use it to describe advertising. You may not even notice it, but a lot of advertising is sometimes aimed at very visceral emotions. Sex, like bright colors to grab your attention. These are all quite visceral things. There's no real logic or reason. It's just appealing to your basic impulses, your basic emotions. Visceral. Number 6, tug at the heartstrings. You can change the word the, so maybe tug at my heartstrings, tug at your heartstrings, tug or tugged in the past tense at her heartstrings. And if you kind of imagine your heart has some strings attached to it, so what happens if someone pulls your heart? It makes you feel passion, it makes you feel sympathy, it makes you feel affection, it makes you feel a little bit sad. You know, if there is some advertisement and the puppy has no owner and the puppy is lonely, that will tug at your heartstrings. It'll make you feel really sympathetic for that puppy, that cute puppy. And so something like that can tug at your heartstrings. He says the music, you know, some slow, romantic type music might tug at your heartstrings. Makes you feel that sympathy, a little bit of sadness, something like that. And then number 7, very, very easy note. It's just a musical note, not a writing note, musical note. What are the notes? I used to play the tuba. Do you know tuba? The musical scale, the musical notes. G, B, A, F, E, or something like that.
Yeah.
I forget. The holes, the spaces, I think, are F-A-C-E. I remember to spell space. But, yeah, I forget. So it's just talking about musical note. Any questions about those words? If not,